Your friends are lucky to have you, if I'm being honest, because you wouldn't be clicking this video if you weren't a good friend, if you didn't actively try to help your friends out, try to help them improve their lives, because you figure out that working on yourself is probably one of the best things you can do for yourself. And so you try getting everybody else you know on board because you want to bring them to the top. You know, it's lonely at the top, bro. Like if you're the only one on self improvement and you're developing yourself and you have nobody around you, it feels really lonely, and you want to help other people around you to get to your level, to get to onto self-improvement so that they can be with you on the grind, onto the top. But here's the thing, that doesn't work. You can't help all your friends, you need to actually leave them behind. But it feels like every time you try helping them, you're pushing them away. It's like it doesn't make sense, right? Like you try giving them advice and they just like shrug it off and just ignore you for 2 days. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time trying to help them, trying to get them onto self improvement, trying to help them better themselves, because you're putting more effort into trying to help them than them trying to help themselves. You already know how difficult it is trying to help yourself, bro. Trying to stay on top of your habits, on top of these good habits you've built up, trying to maintain like this streak of discipline you've been creating for the past couple of months. You already know how difficult it is for yourself to be consistent. Imagine trying to convince somebody who doesn't even care about any of that, who doesn't even care about becoming better. Because this is lonely. Improving yourself is lonely. The only reason why you're improving yourself is because you were at a time in your life where you were so down bad, so desperate for a change to make your life better, that you said, forget it, bro. I'm just gonna focus on myself and try to get myself to the best possible version I can. You need to have that breaking point. If you don't have that breaking point, you're never going to change. And so if in your life you've never hit the breaking point, if you've never experienced heartbreak, if you've never experienced like death, if you've never experienced loss, grief, depression, anxiety, whatever, bro, when you're trying to help somebody who hasn't hit their breaking point yet, who thinks everything is already fine, why would I need to improve it? You're never going to change because they don't have the mindset needed for change, for growth, for evolution. I remember like during late 2019, during the winter time, when I first started self-improvement, and like I really started getting into the gym more, you know, started like losing weight, and I'm revealing the muscles I never had before. I'm revealing this jawline that I never had before, and I'm revealing my need to help my friends, thinking, bro, this changed my life. I can't believe going to the gym actually changes your life. I can't believe reading books. I've never read a book in my life, but reading book actually changes your mind, changes it so that you're actually learning, and it's so much more enjoyable to actually live life with like a growth mindset, to actually constantly be learning. And so I figured, let me tell all my friends about it too. Let me try to get them involved. Let me try to help them so they can level up too. And it's like I'll start preaching to them, bro, right? I'll start preaching, don't eat that, don't eat junk food, don't eat Coke, don't drink Coke. Oh, bro, you fell off your diet. Why are you like not a disciplined? Like, I became that guy, bro. That guy who's like annoying as hell, is like trying to tell you how to live your life. And it's like I'm doing the same thing on camera, but it's completely different. But it's like every little flaw I found in them, I tell them to not to do that, do something else instead. So it's like my friends, bro, like my friends at the time, they'd all be like smoking and stuff, right? And I told them, bro, y'all need to stop smoking because it's literally destroying your brain cells. And it's like they just stare at me, bro. They're like, huh? Because it doesn't make sense for them, because I was smoking with them like 2 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden I stopped, and now I'm telling them not to smoke too. So it's like, of course they're gonna look at you funny, bro. You're saying the exact opposite of the person you were like just recently, because when you change, you've made these changes in your life to become a better person. The identity of yourself you have in your head is different. You are no longer this person who is partaking in degenerate habits. You're no longer this person who wakes up and the first thing he does is start smoking. You know, you're not the person who doesn't skip the gym. You go to the gym every day, regardless of the weather, regardless if it's sunny or if it's not sunny, if it's like cold or hot. You go to the gym regardless. This is the type of person you are. But your friends haven't seen that yet. You in your mind You know the changes you've made by meditating, by journaling. You know that you no longer have these intrusive thoughts in your head. You no longer think about offing yourself, you know? You no longer fidget when you're trying to get to work because now you can actually focus because of all this time you spent meditating, all this time you spent journaling your thoughts, spent time reading. You've built up these habits, right? But how are you going to show a habit that's all mental? How are you going to show somebody you practice meditating and like meditating saves your life, meditating changes your life when you can't even see any progress? Like you can't physically, like mentally, you've made a whole ton of progress, but physically, you can't see anything at all. So imagine you're telling somebody, bro, you need to meditate. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. But they look at you and you're like, how? Meditate? You're exactly the same person as you were before. You know, they can't see it. They can't see you meditating. They can't see the gains you've made from meditating. They can't see the gains you've made from journaling, from reading. They can see the gym gains. That's really like the only thing they can see. They can see the gains you've made in the gym. And like if you've increased your social skills, that's all they can see. But everything else, because it's all internal self improvement, they can't see it. And here's the thing too, like it is literally called self improvement. It's not called together improvement. It's not called us improvement. It is self improvement because you know yourself better than anybody else, so only you can improve on yourself. When you watch like a motivational video and it strikes a chord in you because it hit like the right buttons for you to actually want to get motivated, the same person, like another person, could watch that same video and not feel as motivated because he doesn't have the same experience as you to relate to it, you know? Because let's say you have, I'm gonna use me and my sister for example. Like me and my sister, we have grown up in the same house for the past 18 years together, and I absolutely hate soda, bro. I've hated it since I was a baby. I just don't like how it fizzes up in your throat and shit. My sister absolutely loves it, bro. Honestly, because I've grown up despising it because I didn't like how it like makes my throat itch, it makes my throat burn, so I've always stayed away from it. But my sister, literally my uncle would feed her Coke since she was a baby, bro. Sugar, like all the sugar is basically crack to like a little 1-year-old baby, so of course like she's gonna grow up with a sugar addiction, with like a soda addiction. So like she absolutely loves drinking soda, even though we both grew up in the same house, we both like grown up like with each other, we still have completely different life experiences. Like I completely hate soda, she absolutely loves it. You know, and I could sit around and saying, "Oh, sugar's bad for you. Don't drink that. That's like terrible." But what benefit are you doing? Like just telling people like how to live their lives. Like people don't want to listen to you on how to like change their lives unless they really want to change their lives. And the only way you could really do that is through your actions. Like my friends, the people who I was telling you about who like looked at me weird for trying to tell them to stop like eating all this junk and actually get on your grind and actually grind out your self-improvement, they are only now starting to take action because of like they've seen me put in work. I spent the past 5 years on self-improvement trying to better myself. And at first, when you start making progress, it's so little that from the outside looking in, it looks like, bro, I'm like the same person I was 2 months before I started meditating, 2 months before I started going to the gym. But once you consistently work on yourself, after year 5, you can't even deny the fact that you're a completely different person. And so that's when they'll start getting motivated. That's when they'll see, oh, this dude's actually making progress, improving himself. Let me actually copy what he does too. And it's funny because they're not going to directly ask you for advice. They're not going to say, can you teach me how to meditate? Can you teach me how to journal? They'll come up to you and they'll be like, so what kind of workouts do you do? And they'll say like, what do you think about when you meditate? They won't like tell you like exactly like the information they need to help them. They'll just like give hints, basically, like they need help, they want help, and you can actually help them because they've seen like the work you've put in to better yourself, so they know that the information, the advice you give them is actually going to be useful. You can only help yourself because you know every single experience that you have gone through since you were a little kid. Since you were a baby, you know all of your bad experiences life, the good experiences life, every little trauma that shaped you to become the person you are today. You know all of it because you are you. So when you learn something new, if you're struggling with anxiety and you learn about how to deal with anxiety, you can implement that into your life. But if somebody doesn't have anxiety, somebody doesn't really have problems being social, and you try telling them how to be more social, that doesn't really impact them because you guys are living two completely different lives. You really don't know your friends as much as you do. Like, you know all the secrets about yourself, your darkest desires, every little detail about yourself that you haven't told anybody else. Your friends have the exact same secrets, the exact same desires. And so you really don't know who your friends are. So if you truly don't know who they are, how can you help them? How can you be able to help somebody you don't really know? You know yourself, that's why you can help yourself, but you can't help somebody you don't know. You can give them advice, they can take it or not, but you can't beat yourself up for it if they don't take that advice, because you could bring a horse to water. Like, this is so cliche, but you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force the horse to drink the water. The horse will drink the water if it feels like drinking it. You can't make it. So same thing with your friends. You can show them self-improvement. You can show them like all the hundreds of ways to improve your life. But if they truly don't want any help, if they truly don't want to change, then you can't do anything about it. Focus on yourself. All that time and energy you're putting into other people, put it into yourself and make more progress. There was a quote, I don't remember where it's from. I think it's either Robert Greene or Marcus Aurelius, one of the two. And they said, be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. And that's basically like, you want to be strict with yourself because you understand yourself. You understand all the struggles you're dealing with right now. So you can directly be strict with yourself, be disciplining yourself because you understand yourself, right? But you have to be tolerant of others. You can't have the same discipline you put on yourself. You can't just force that onto other people. You need to let them be okay with the life they're on, the journey they're on, and be okay with it, because everybody has different life paths. Just because they're with you, just because you care a lot about them, you care so much that you care more about their own self-improvement more than they do, that doesn't give you the excuse to be disciplining them, to force them to become better. Like, you have to let them do their own thing. And if you have friends who think you're weird, who constantly belittle you for trying to improve yourself, for trying to improve them, then get rid of them. Honestly, you don't need negative people in your life. So people grow, people grow and people's interests change over time, so you can't drift apart. If one day they find you like doing well for yourself, doing actually better for yourself, then they'll actually come and ask you for help or like apologize to you for like the type of nonsense they said to your face, saying that, bro, self-improvement is cringe. Who do you think you are trying to better yourself? You think you're better than me? Most people have this closed off mindset because of their ego. They think that if you try giving them advice, if you try telling them, hey bro, don't eat all that nonsense that you're putting into your body, it's gonna give you cancer, you're gonna die early and sad death one day because of it. And they'll look at you thinking, who is this dude? Why are you giving me advice, telling me how to live my life? And they'll see you as an enemy, because it's ironic, because you in your head, you thinking that I'm just trying to help them, I want them to be better, I want them to actually take care of themselves. But that's not the way they see it. The way they see it is you attacking them, you attacking their ego by telling them the way they've been living their whole life is a lie, the way they've been living is a scam, and the only way they can justify it when they've have like this closed off mind, they don't have like an open mind, they don't have a growth mindset. The way they're gonna see you is an enemy. They're gonna see you as an enemy, trying to attack them on their habits, and they're not going to change. They're going to, if anything, they're just gonna double down on the habits they're doing to show you that you're wrong and I'm right. And of course, that's for like the most extremes of friends, the friends who like, like there's absolutely no chance of saving, like you're better off like leaving them behind. But the friends you have who aren't as receptive, they might not care too much about improving themselves, but at the same time, they're not going to shrug it off completely. They understand how important it is. Those people, you still want to have them around you, just because, there's still hope for them. There's still hope that you can actually change them, but you got to change them through your actions, by making yourself better first. Your actions speak louder than words. You telling somebody to get on self-improvement but you're not even perfect yourself. You're like messing up. Like you want to give somebody that advice on no fap, but you just fapped like this morning, like 3 times this morning. Like, why would anybody take your advice? You're a fraud. You're a fraud, bro. If you're like trying to give advice, but you're not following the same advice yourself. That's why it's so important to speak with your actions rather than your words, because your words mean nothing, bro. I can say a whole bunch of nonsense right now. I can say that I'm the president of the US. Bro, my words don't mean anything unless my actions prove it too. So don't help your friends, help yourself first.